It's so great to be back here at Toronto Mic.
I thought you were going to say Return of the McAdorey.
Oh, you want me to do it
Yeah,
again?
do it again.
Return. I'm going to speak about myself.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Return of the McAdorey, Part 2.
Return of the McAdorey. Return of the McAdorey.
I'm in Toronto where you wanna get a city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get a city love. I'm in Toronto like we wanna get a city love. My city love me back for my city love. I'm in Toronto.
Welcome to episode 1840. That's 1840 of Toronto Mic'd, an award-winning podcast proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery. Order online at greatlakesbeer.com for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Visit palmapasta.com for more. Fusion Corp's own Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto Skyline and Building Success, two podcasts that you ought to listen to. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, making her return to Toronto Mic, it's Michelle McAdorey. How are you, Michelle?
I am very good. How are you, Mike?
Do you notice off the very top, I said to you, say whatever you want, and then you said whatever you want, and then I was like, no, say it this way. That's a dick move, right? Like, come on, say whatever you want, but make sure you say Return of the McAdorey.
Control freak.
Well, apparently, but I apologize for...
It's all right.
But I'm so, like I want to get into it with you, but first I just want to check in. Like, when you say you're all right, is that the truth? Because a lot of times we say, how are you? And somebody says, I'm fine, but they could be having like the worst year of their life, but they're still going to say, I'm fine, because that's like a courtesy and you don't want to, upset somebody or get into it. But are you actually doing all right?
Yeah, I am. Thank you for, really checking in there. I understand what you mean by that. And I think I'm happy to say goodbye to 2025. And 2026 is, it's weird as ever, if we're listening to news, but I am doing fine. I've been digging lots of snow.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's a great segue for me to say that when I know Michelle McAdorey is visiting, I already get excited. Like, I'm a big Michelle McAdorey head, okay?
Right
and
on.
So I'm just confessing to you right now. But it has been a long time since I've had an in-person guest. Like, and I say a long time, you're going to think, do I mean weeks, months? Like, I mean weeks. Like, in that last week, no one visited this basement studio for Toronto Mic. Like, it's been I had Andy Stokansky was supposed to be down here, and then the snow came, and they postponed it because Blair Packham was going to drive him. So that's what I mean there. And then there was Bruce McCullough was going to be here, and then he postponed because he had another thing to do, but he is back in the calendar. There was another Bruce who I actually canceled. And then there was a guy, David Bronstein. Do you remember in the 90s, the 1976 ads where this guy would be like, call the number on your phone to talk to beautiful women. Like, do you remember this infomercial?
I don't.
Okay, you weren't watching as much late night TV as I was. Okay, you were probably busy performing. But David Bronstein was supposed to visit, and he was so late, I just got all pissed off, and I Zoomed with the director of the movie that he's in that set it up, and then I ended up Zooming with him. This is a long, boring ramble to say. It's been a long time since I've had an in-person guest, and I love in-person guests, and I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Yeah, so it had a bit of the pandemic feel to it, did it?
Yeah, like moving things remotely. Like, I don't like these Zooms all the time. Like, they're easy. Sometimes I think like maybe that's the way to go because it's so much easier to just click a link, have an hour chat, click off. But I crave the engagement with an actual human being in my presence, and you are that actual human being.
And so you should. I think that's a really important thing. I don't understand. Like, I know I miss it. There's something that happens when we're actually physically
Yeah,
in
I could reach out and grab you.
Sorry.
I won't do that, no. Especially now that I found out about your son. So am I allowed to ask what your son's up to right now?
Yeah, he's doing, I guess, I hope I can say.
Well, that's why I'm asking you, because I don't know. But it sounds like you might be able to say that.
I think I could. He's doing some training, hostile environment training for he works as a photojournalist. So that's something that, especially if he's going to be traveling to places.
Well, can I read between the lines? May I wonder aloud if this is because of what's happening in the United States with ICE?
It's not because of that. But surely that will be something that many people will be covering who are journalists, of course. But as I learn more and more about what he does as a photojournalist or journalists in general, if you're going to be traveling to places, and of course, when there's conflict of any sort, whether it's here where you live or in proximity, or if it's overseas somewhere, and there's wars, it's very important to have this kind of training, and people do it annually. Like they renew their training because there's always something new to learn, and it's all kind of grim.
Yeah, like new chemical warfare
it's
or something.
Grim stuff, actually.
It sounds important because journalists like your son are put in harm's way. Like when you're covering, and again, the civil war or just unrest or violent protesting, whatnot, it's a danger. Like, do you ever worry about your boy? Like, are you like, oh, can you please go cover like a soccer match or something? Although there's hooligans there too.
Well, and he covers sports events as well. But yeah, of course I do. But he does. He's aware. Like I think that he's really trying to be as aware as possible and as smart as one can be, or as the education is ongoing, I think.
Well, I'm glad that your boy is getting this training because we're going to need him should there be an invasion of any sort. So I'm going to be glad to be by his side.
Yeah, well, maybe you and I could go down to that training ourselves.
Well, that means crossing into enemy territory.
Well, yeah, that one is in enemy territory, I guess you could say. But they are held here and there all over the place.
Okay, yeah. When there's a training of that nature held in a different country, please let me know. I will go with you. We'll be trained because we're going to be the resistance.
We are.
Okay, I knew I could
frontline soldiers. Here we are.
I would love to be defending the sovereign nation with Michelle McAdorey by my side. Like that's a dream come true. Ever since I saw the video for Try, I said that's my future. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Do you remember your first visit to the TMDS basement studio?
I do. I do remember it. I'm trying to remember how long ago it was, though.
Well, I have that info at my disposal. I'm prepared for you, Michelle McAdorey. Even though I should say the plan was to do this before Christmas. Mm-hmm. And you got sick.
I did. I got that pre-Christmas bug.
Well, I think that bug goes beyond Christmas. But are you feeling 100% now?
Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't horrible one. Knock on wood,
Well, this IKEA table, I'm not sure if it's wood or not. It might be some Swedish tree or something. I don't know. But okay, so I'm going to tell you, it was November 2023.
Okay, yeah.
So we're like 2+ years now, if my math is correct. Mm-hmm. It was episode 1368. Did you get a tattoo on your body with the numbers 1368 on it?
I didn't.
Okay, get out of my basement, Michelle McAdorey. This is over.
No,
okay,
so... Although I think this episode, what was the number? Adds up to 13.
Okay, this is
and then if you
1840.
reduce that further, it would be 4.
Okay, that's too much math for me. You didn't tell me there'd be math. Okay, so in this 1368th episode of Toronto Mike, this is what I wrote in November 2023. Mike chats with Michelle McAdorey about her appearance in the video for Blue Rodeo's Try. By the way, I'm going to deem myself an asshole because you've created so much fine music and art, and here I am like reducing you to the pretty girl in the Blue Rodeo video, and that's kind of a jerk move. Am I right?
Well, you know what Mark Carney said.
Take the sign out of the window. What else did he say?
Nostalgia is not a plan.
You know what? That I heard him say that, and I'm like, yes. And then I thought, oh, don't tell that to the producers of Toronto Mike because that's Here we're fueled by nostalgia on this program. So you're so much more than that, but let me finish this. So yes, I just want to say it now because we're not going to reference it again. When Canadians and people all over the world watch the video for Blue Rodeo's Try, and they all fall in love with that woman on the screen, they're falling in love with you, Michelle McAdorey. Is that correct?
I mean, I was in the video. Yes.
I rest my case. Okay. We talked a lot, of course, about Crash Vegas, and we talked a lot about you going solo. And this episode, to remind you, I don't know if we can go that long today, but we went an hour and 43 minutes.
That's incredible.
That means we have good chemistry.
That is what it means.
That's a long episode. Okay, so we'll see if we can get it down to.
I thought I had
90.
to go that long so I get the stuff at the end.
Okay, can we talk about the stuff quickly? Then we're going to get into it. I am so jazzed about this, but what did you get last time? Did you get a lasagna from Palma Pasta?
I did.
Did you enjoy it?
I think I did. I don't remember it, but what I remember the most
Tell me.
was this little measuring tape.
Oh, I like that sound in the headphones. So that's from Ridley Funeral Home. And what did you use that measuring tape for?
I use it all the time. I carry it around. It's amazing how handy it is. I love measuring tapes.
Okay, so just in case, because it's only made of plastic. What if it breaks and then you'd be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle? So I'm going to give you, Michelle McAdorey, another Ridley Funeral Home measuring tape. This is yours.
Oh, amazing.
You need a backup.
I've had people, inquire.
Well, you know what? You know what?
Where did you get it?
I can score you another one, but it depends who's inquiring whether you can send them over here to get one. Let me know. But okay, so you are getting a lasagna from Palma Pasta. I'm sure you loved it because everybody does. And I want to thank Palma Pasta for sending over a
very nice
frozen lasagna for Michelle McAdorey. By the way, I don't think I'm capable of calling you Michelle. I think that's because my oldest daughter is named Michelle, but I always think of you as Michelle McAdorey. Like the two names need to go together.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm going to string them together for this entire conversation, Michelle McAdorey. So, okay. I also want to give you, just while we're doing this off the top, I want to give you some fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery. This is all the stuff I can't do via Zoom, right? So it's been a while.
I get it. I'm here to just promote all the...
Well, you're here to get my swag. I got this beer and I like it to be enjoyed when it's very fresh. So I can't have it, lying around for 3-4 weeks. So you got your beer, you got your lasagna, you got your measuring tape, and you're here. And you mentioned the news, and we did touch on ICE and everything, but I do follow you on social media. You are a woman who follows what's happening in the world. And before we get to the fun stuff like music, etc., I wonder, real talk, how are you dealing with our fascist neighbors and the threats to our sovereignty in this new world order? Shout out to ministry.
How am I dealing with it? I probably I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually dealing with it, but trying to watch how much I consume in terms of news and what I'm consuming, though I do somehow in this conversation with myself justify it because I feel like I should stay informed. That said, it can make me feel a bit, angry and frustrated. And I got to step away from it. Feeling really frustrated by it. Not sure what else to tell you. But I have other, complaints.
Well, hit me with some complaints. Just pretend it's Festivus. What are your grievances, Michelle McAdorey?
I think the big thing would be right now, if we're talking about complaints, music would be, what are we doing about streaming, the rates, regulation for AI? More people are, little posts of small, middling musicians saying their songs got ripped off and they've, found out about some impersonation, plagiarizing, their material, and there's very little recourse. So I'd love regulation or something with that. That just makes my head kind of explode.
Well, so you mentioned streaming rates, and there's some new rule, I believe Spotify has a new rule where you have to have a minimum number of streams before you receive penny number one. Am I correct about that?
It could be. I'm pretty good at putting my head in the sand too sometimes, which I was thinking about that. I can't, I gotta, but sometimes I just feel so overwhelmed by it. And Spotify, I think, is is one of the worst, from what I understand. But I'm not. At points, I do have to just forget about it and go back to writing songs, which is what I'm doing right now. So
well, that's you creating art because you're an artist. It's interesting that because I just learned before you came in that your son is a journalist. Like, you're an artist, your son is a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. There's no profound connection there, but I didn't realize that. So, as an artist, you feel compelled to create art, and I'm guessing this is how you deal with the fact that our world is on fire.
I definitely, I think it's one of the, it is. It's probably my primary kind of outlet for that, making something in as a response to being human, wandering around, looking at it all.
So as an artist, because we mentioned you were in Crash Vegas, by the way, since your first appearance on Toronto Mike, Colin Cripps has come over and we did another episode, like real deep dive into Crash Vegas.
How
I don't know
that?
if you checked that out. It was I found him to be, much like you, an exceptional Toronto Mike guest because he answered all of my questions and he seemed to think about his answers and speak from his heart. And I felt like I was hearing the truth from Colin Cripps on a number of things. So I actually think he's an ideal Toronto Mike guest.
Well, maybe you can get him back.
I will. No, you know what I'll do? I'll get you. Like, do you currently have a relationship with Colin Cripps?
Oh, here we go. Well, no, we haven't spoken in quite some time.
Okay.
But you know how it is with people sometimes, there's those relationships that that just kind of disappear for a long time, but then you pick right up and then, and it's like you didn't miss a beat. And there are others where it's, that doesn't happen.
Well, sometimes there's an actual like falling out.
Right.
I'm sure, I'm going to just make up stories here, but I'm sure Stephen Page is absolutely sick of people asking him when he's going to get back together with Ed Robertson, like just as an example. Like, but sometimes there's, a falling out. But and if I'm being too nosy, let me know. But was there a falling out between you and Colin, or you just went and did your own things and just haven't crossed paths in a while?
Yeah, I think that's been more it. It's been so long since we were in Crash Vegas together. So, in fact, more time has happened post it than there was in that thing. So, we have sort of run into each other and hung out a bit, and then we haven't. And, as these friendships are sometimes that you have in your life. And if you're lucky to still keep living and counting the decades, and some become more relevant through time and others don't, right? How about you? Do you find that you've got lots of friends from decades back?
I think, so I've never been in a band, but I'll work for a software company for a few years and I'll get really tight with some people I work with because that's what happens. You spend a lot of time with these people and you get tight and then you'll go to another gig and for a little while, maybe there's a little bit of like keeping touch or whatever, but as weeks become months and months become years, you never see these people. They're just gone. And it's like, oh, they're just somebody that you used to know.
Yeah.
There's a song for you, Michelle McAdorey. Okay, write that down.
I am.
Now
I've got it.
You
need to start giving away pens.
Okay, since I said Crash Vegas, and don't worry, you're not here for 90 minutes on Crash Vegas, but J-Ho, also known as Jeremy Hopkin, who is the official Toronto historian of this podcast.
Yes.
You know J-Ho?
I know.
Because you're reacting like you recognize his name.
I see what he puts up. I'm a huge fan of Toronto history. I love learning about it. I love looking at those old photographs.
That's J-Ho.
Yeah.
Jeremy Hopkin. It's interesting. I'm going to tie this back to AI in a second, but I'm going to ask J-Ho's question for you, and then I'm going to rant about AI and what it's doing to these Toronto history aggregators, okay? So J-Ho wants me to ask you, he writes, could you please ask Michelle if she recalls where Crash Vegas filmed the music video for Inside Out?
That's a interesting question. In fact, Arlen, my son and I, we often have, as we're driving around the Don Valley Parkway near the Bayview ramps, I would say, I think the video we shot way back when was done there as well, because he knows all these roads for whatever reason. He knows them. But so I think it's around there, somewhere in that vicinity of the Bayview ramp going, up towards Bloor, Danforth, or going south. I think there's some little like service road that you can go off somewhere around there. It's somewhere around there.
Okay, J-Ho, there you go. That's the best I'm going to get out of Michelle McAdorey. But J-Ho, he posts these photos, like you said, that you enjoy consuming, and I enjoy too. And it might be something like, here's a photo from the day the TTC opened the subway system in Toronto or something like that. And you'll see, here it is. There's a picture. What I've noticed lately, and this may speak to the cesspool that is Facebook, okay? But if I go on Facebook, and sometimes I still use Facebook to post it. I'll post a picture of you and I by Toronto Tree to say, hey, there's a new episode with the great Michelle McAdorey. Here's a link. I'll be doing that today. But when I go on Facebook, I get these, I don't follow these people. I don't know how they end up there, to be honest. Maybe they think I like Toronto history, which would make sense. But it'll be something, I don't know, I'll make it up. It'd be like, Toronto history. It'll be a page. And they'll say, here's a photo from the subway system. And you'll look at the photo and you'll say, that's the wrong subway. And there were no ads on the wall for Eden's, and there was no ad on the wall for Sam the Record Man or whatever. You can see it's AI.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts because you'll look in the comments of people saying love these old, so there's, I don't know if they're bots or whatever, but this is, to me, really messing with the people like Jeremy Hopkin and Adam Bunch and all the true Toronto historians who would never dare share an AI. And this, maybe we can tie this back to music, but all this slop is ruining social media because sometimes it's close, but sometimes you're like, wait, the CN Tower isn't actually there at this vantage point, or that's not, there was never this. So you can see this is phony baloney trying to masquerade as true history.
So much bullshit out there with AI. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at learning how to identify it. It would be amazing if there could be, I don't know what kind of regulations we can bring in to stop. But generally, a lot of this stuff, I just think it makes people more stupid.
Well, because it's
we're already a bit
misinformation.
Stupid.
So, I know this is a true story. Okay. So there was a tragedy with Rob Reiner and his wife, right? And my mom reported to me, because I don't actually follow celebrity this or TMZ and this and that. I'm kind of out of this loop. But my mom will tell me, Conan O'Brien came out and he feels extremely guilty that he's responsible because he didn't call the police on this gentleman at his party at Christmas time. And I'm getting this very detailed story from my mom, and I'm like, that's that's interesting. I didn't know Conan O'Brien said this or whatever. And then at some point I said to my mom, I was like, where did you get that Conan O'Brien story? Because he doesn't pass my sniff test, and I didn't hear about it anywhere else. And she'll say, I saw it on Facebook. And I'll realize, yes, of course. It's the same thing. You don't follow this as a legitimate piece of the press or whatever, journalism. But here you are being served up something that is pretending to be like a news report or fact, but it's completely invented. And I think, and I'm not just going to pick on certain generations, but I think particularly an older audience, older than us, Michelle, who are used to trusting the news. It came in, this paper was printed, it was called the Toronto Telegram, or it was the Globe and Mail, or it was the Toronto Star, whatever, it was the Toronto Sun, whatever. I can trust this, it was printed, or this is on my CTV News, Lloyd Robertson said this to me last night, or whatever, or, Peter Mansbridge said this, and now they're being served up news that is completely invented, and they're just swallowing it like it's true.
I can't disagree. Yeah, it's happening everywhere, and I don't even know. Yeah.
You're saying that
nothing
perhaps
bright to say to you.
But I do wish there was a way to flag something. I don't think Meta cares. This is part of the problem, right? Meta's part of the problem because Meta lets these fake Toronto history sites exist, and every second image is phony baloney. It's AI generated, and they don't do anything to dissuade it or to stop it. So it just lives on Facebook. They're like, we own Facebook, and we don't care if there's misinformation on Facebook.
No, and there's nobody really regulating. I noticed there's a couple people who are on social media that are trying to, their whole sort of page or site or whatever, their profile is about trying to help people discern and learn how to decipher actual from not actual. But I think it's just going to get better and better and harder to tell. And so...
So the black and white blanket rule should be, Michelle, because this is what I told my mom, is if you look at the URL of whatever website you're on, and if it starts with facebook.com, assume it's fake until proven otherwise.
Yes.
Like go to cbc.ca/news, or if you're a CTV or a Global, whatever your legitimate news source of choice is, and corroborate it, but assume it's fake until you verify.
Yeah, definitely check at least a few different sites, but trusted sites.
Yeah.
And
like check the URL. Let me see. I always say to my mom, what's your source?
okay.
She goes, oh, I don't know. It was on Facebook. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
One of the side project hustle things I was doing in 2025 was on Facebook, I'd be pushed, similar to being pushed that AI slop fake Toronto history. I would be pushed like, oh, this long-standing institution, this clothing store that has been in Toronto for 60 years, sadly, the owners are going to have to close it up. They can't afford the rent or something, but there's a going out of business sale, okay? And you get this, and you know, I know, because I'm savvy and you're savvy, but I right away, you know, oh, this place doesn't exist. Like, this is not a Toronto institution that's been around for 60 years. This is just some domain name that's been bought up in the last few months with a fake story and fake pictures so they can get you to buy a bunch of stuff over, you know, they're going to sell you a bunch of crap and as if it's some prestigious, trustworthy product, okay? So they do very well. But what I've been doing lately is I'll find the names of these places and I'll, on my personal blog, I'll write about it to target those keywords. So for the person who does Google it before they buy, which sadly is not enough people, they may end up on my site, which reveals to you that it's actually a scam. And you can save your hard-earned money because you're never going to get it back once you fall for the scam. But the fact that that stuff is allowed to exist on Facebook actually upsets me almost more than the AI slop, because that's legitimately a scam that is taking hard-earned money from, you know, I want to pick on the boomers again, but it's not just boomers that are falling for this. But that to me is a scam where they're just picking pockets because they're lying.
Yeah. Exactly, but you're doing some good community work
Thank
there.
you. Okay.
So that's good.
Tell your boy I'm doing that. Now, Michelle, can we bring it back to music? Because I want to hear from you, though. But because you referenced the fact that AI can like steal songs from hardworking artists like yourself, and then like, so do you know of that happening?
I haven't looked into it for myself. I almost don't want to. But a young woman had posted something where she had just found out about it and had seen, was brought to her attention that there were videos and just her likeness, her voice. They'd sort of imitated her voice, her songs. And for like, they're out there trying to market them. But again, for such little bits of money, cutting into her, you know, whatever it is, 0.002 thirds, you know, 2/3.
Well, with this new minimum, I have a feeling it's zero. By the way, I just checked into the live stream because I've been very busy in our conversation here. And I'm going to get to music in a minute.
Yes.
But Jeremy Hopkins is actually on the live stream, so he's already heard your story, and he says thank you. And he writes, Colin and Michelle were great together at the Crash Vegas reunion back in 2017.
Oh, nice! I didn't know you were there. That's great you were there.
He's like City TV. He's everywhere.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a really fun gig. That was a lot of fun.
Is that the last time Crash Vegas played together?
Yeah. And we hadn't for a very long time. So that was really, really amazing.
That's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to play a song and ask you about somebody because I don't think we dove into this during your first visit. You ready?
Do it.
And you can talk over this song.
Oh. Kirsty.
Kirsty MacColl, name the song. It's a long name. Okay, I'm going to get you this full song. You ready? This is called There's a Guy Works Down...
The Chip Shop Swears He's Elvis.
You got it.
Yeah, this is it. There we go.
Just like you swore to me that you'd be true. There's a guy works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis, but he's a liar and I'm not sure about you.
All right, this jam got some radio play. Shout out to CFNY. Did you see the documentary about CFNY that's airing on TVO Docs?
I haven't.
Okay, there's like a 60-minute CFNY doc you can watch on YouTube
Have you
tonight.
seen it?
Have I seen it? Okay, I have seen it, yes.
Okay.
But I also saw the 90-minute cut. I had a great chat with the director, which I was told by the production company was an unauthorized conversation about this documentary, and they asked me to remove it. Listen, tell your son this too. I'm a practically a journalist myself here. But I talked to the director, Matt Schichter. I know, I'm looking over here. Is he here? Matt Schichter.
Ghost.
Yeah, there are ghosts down here. Matt Schichter directed the documentary, and there's a whole bunch of interesting background info that I've been digging up, and I have letters from lawyers saying that basically your documentary is terrible. Meanwhile, the 60-minute edit is literally available for you tonight, and now the CFNY guys are promoting a 90-minute cut, which is the original version of this documentary that Matt Schichter delivered. They're going to stream it at some public parties you can buy tickets to. Like, all this is going down. So have I seen the documentary? You're damn right I've seen the documentary. I
The
just
Disturber.
I wanted
you
to know if
are like
I'm stirring up the shit on this
Yeah.
documentary. But you
I
can
like
watch this
it.
doc, but they played this song. So this song, there's a guy works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis, features
But he's a liar.
features somebody named Blanche McAdorey.
Uh-huh.
Are you related to Blanche McAdorey?
I am.
What's your relation to Blanche McAdorey?
Well, Blanche was enamored with Streetcar Named Desire,
Yeah.
as was Kirsty. And so this was just some weird thing we would do. We met each other on a plane coming back from Spain, and we were laid over for whatever reason. I can't remember. But we were drinking a bit and hanging out and then singing and talking. We just became very good friends. And one thing led to another. I was, younger and sort of thinking about music and wanting to do it. And she's like, we started singing in the airport in Valencia. And then she's like, you've got to come and record with me. But we would do these weird accents, the two of us. And so, what name? So I sang on her record, on that record. And she's like, how should we credit you?
Is that...
And they were calling me Blanche. I had this nickname was Blanche. Blanche. Hi, Blanche.
And you're very young. Like, I'm guessing early 20s. Like, how are you? Maybe even younger?
Yeah.
Teenager.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm just doing the math in my head. But I was told there'd be no math, so I'm a little pissed off
just
here.
leave the math.
Leave the math. I'll leave the math. Can AI do the math? I can't trust that.
No.
Okay. So, and again, we probably touched on it when you were here, but we had a lot of ground to cover, and I needed the whole Crash Vegas story. But here we are now in your return. So, Kirsty MacColl, like, can you give us some sense of, like, who was she at this time? What is this album that features Blanche
Kirsty,
McAdorey?
Kirsty.
Kirsty, what am I saying? Kirsty?
Yeah.
Kirsty, so K-I-R.
Kirsty.
Okay, I apologize. Okay. So just give me a sense of, like, who was Kirsty MacColl at this time?
Well, at that time, I mean, geez. She's just wonderful, amazing woman, super funny, very generous, just a great pal. God, it's so long ago, so absolutely long ago. I actually just went back to London in September of 2025. And although I had visited once since I had lived there, I hadn't been, it felt like another lifetime ago. And so even now, thinking about Kirsty and just like how, she's just a really amazing person. And I guess I just feel like her generosity towards me, openness, having me come and work on a record. She just showed me a lot of things. I'd never been in a sort of serious recording studio before. And she was just really great. Very, very funny. Just wonderful, warm person.
And I hope this isn't too personal, but, like, how did you find out about the tragic accident?
Ugh. I don't know. I guess through media. I don't even remember. And yeah.
I mean, that's awful.
It's the worst, yeah.
It's awful if you don't have a personal relationship with Kirsty MacColl. Like, it's just the saddest, most tragic story you can imagine. And I'm not going to share the story here if you can look it up. But I can't imagine what it would be like for somebody like yourself who had such a close personal relationship with her.
Yeah, I mean, we were at the, by the time that horrific thing would happen, we weren't in touch really. Though we, compared to what it had been when I lived in London. And we did stay in touch for a while here and there after I had moved back to Canada. But I don't know. Yeah, just horrendous. I don't know what to say. I think it's just one of those like truly heartbreaking things. What else? There's really no words.
Do you remember the name of the album that features Blanche McAdorey? And if people can't read between the lines, that is you. I just want to make sure I spell it out. But
I can see the cover, which is Kirsty's face, and it's something, and it's got like a little graphic like across her eyes and trying to conjure the memory of someone.
Well, here, I'm going to cheat on this one here by searching it up. And I can tell you it is the first single from, is it Desperate Character? Yes. Desperate Character.
Thank you.
Is the name of this album that features you. And could we hear your voice on that song? There's a guy who works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. Like, can we hear you in the background there?
Yeah, I guess I'm just all over the place on backgrounds, and who would even know anymore. That's one thing she really loved to do, is she wanted tons of layered backgrounds. So somewhere in the mix on a bunch of those tunes on that record.
So in addition here, you'd hear it on CFNY. But in the UK, it actually reached number 14, and it was on the charts for 9 weeks. So that was a big jam on UK radio.
I know. I think maybe it was one of the things that sort of started her being more known. Obviously, she'd had a record out before that. I don't know if that's obvious, actually, but she had. And then, of course, the one that's playing in the background there.
Well, here's the reason. You were originally scheduled for Before Christmas, okay? So this was very timely, and I was going to play this.
Such a great tune. Oh.
But this is Kirsty MacColl. So in a sense, because this is such a holiday staple, we'll be hearing her for 100 years. Like, this song is going to be around forever, and she's amazing on it.
Yeah, she's super amazing.
I've turned around on the F slur. Like, I think there was a period of time where I thought, but now because of the context and everything and the art, I can totally understand why we get the homophobic F slur in that song. But I think that's a perfect song.
I do too.
No arguments from Blanche McAdorey.
No, I think also sometimes songs are written, in a time, and sometimes when we put them through the current moment, I don't know what it is, correction meter or something. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, it's of a time. Also, if you look at the author, and I don't know, I think certain language that people use, it's great, like just for historical record of culture and how certain people spoke.
Do you think we've lost the art of context? Like that, we're now, I don't want to use the word canceling, but now we're, revisiting things from a different era, and we're applying today's lens, and it's better to just view them in the context of the time.
I think yes. I think there's a lot we can learn from wherever we're at, and through these different lenses. But yeah, I have a problem, I think, if you mentioned cancel culture,
right?
And that to me has been quite a disturbing phenomena. Are
there any lyrics from your old band that you wish you could take back? Is there any moments where if you were writing that in 2026, you might not say that? Crash Vegas?
I don't think so. But maybe someone will write in and tell us.
We'll get J-Ho in the case. Okay, so also since I mentioned that Colin Cripps made his Toronto Mike debut since you last visited, but also since you last visited, Midge Ure has been on Toronto Mike.
No way.
That's a true story.
When?
I would never lie to you. It's been a couple of years, I suppose, but sometime between your visit, 2 years plus, and now, so I don't know, about a year ago or so, but it was a great chat. Midge was very nice. I then saw him at the Elma Combo. Can I blow your mind? I'm going to perform at the Elma Combo.
You are?
Yep, I'm not going to sing. That's my pledge. I promise not to sing, but I've got a night at the Elma Combo. I should have a link for the listenership to buy tickets soon. It will be May 21, I believe. I'll be joined by my Paul Schaefer, whose name is Rob Pruce, who was in Spoons. Were you a Spoons head as a youngster?
I don't think I was.
No Spoons head here. Okay, so Midge Ure. Why am I bringing up Midge Ure? So, have you worked with Midge Ure?
I did.
Okay, tell us how you worked with Midge Ure.
It came about actually through Kirsty, through another gentleman who was a friend of hers, kind of a manager guy. Chris O'Donnell. What you?
I was going to say different Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah, different Chris O'Donnell. He managed different bands, like some really good bands, like Thin Lizzy, and he also managed Steve Strange. Did you ever know Steve Strange?
No, but Thin Lizzy, Midge Ure was in Thin Lizzy.
No, he wasn't.
He? Okay, keep going and I'll
No, he was in Ultravox.
Yeah, well, definitely Ultravox.
No.
But I feel like he was in Thin Lizzy before that.
No, Phil Lynott.
Okay, well, I
Boys
think
are back in town.
Yeah, but I think he took over. But that's fine. Keep going.
I can't imagine Midge's aesthetic working with.
I mean, I'm only the guy who interviewed him, so I am here to tell you that yes, in 1979, for a couple of years, Midge Ure was the lead singer of Thin Lizzy. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, all these pieces connect once you can, once you step back and kind of look at the.
I don't even know how you could call it Thin Lizzy. It's like with Phil gone, like. Wow, really?
Yeah. And I mean,
are you sure that's not AI?
No,
like
that's not AI. No, I talked to him about it.
Wow,
There's a Toronto Mike episode about it. But it just similarly,
there you go.
we talked about that song, Fairy Tale of New York, right?
Yes.
And Shane McGowan, no longer with us as well, is the guy from the Pogues. But did you know that Joe Strummer was also the lead singer of the Pogues?
I recall him having involvement with them, at some point.
Okay, but somebody's getting the mind blow there. But Phil, so Midge Ure did spend a couple of years. So this is all going to tie into how they're all connected, but you pick it up from there.
So weird. So basically, I got to know Midge through whatever means, meeting this person, that person. And it was. That's an interesting part of my when I think about all that history, where this band that I had, we'd been working with someone else, Speedy Keen, and who do you know who Speedy Keen is? He wrote an incredible song. Well, he wrote lots of things. He worked with lots of people. He produced Motorhead and worked with different people. But his big song was Something in the Air with Thunderclap Newman.
Of course.
And so he was doing stuff with us. He was an amazing character. But it's one of those things where he kept cautioning me, don't get involved with all those corrupt music sharks. But we got drawn into working with Midge and sort of stepped away from Speedy, and then it resulted in this song that you're playing, Love Me Today.
Give me proof it exists. Show me evidence. Something concrete. Some remembrance. Something I can touch. Something that
You can hear the mid-year production there.
So much. I remember when I heard it, I was kind of shocked because it didn't really sound like us. And I remember thinking, Midge might as well be singing.
Yeah. But when you say us, what do you consider the name of this band?
Well, we were called Cold Fish.
Yeah, but
Then exactly what Speedy had kind of predicted, you know, it was CBS Records had like given us this contract for this single in England and then got picked up in Canada, but they changed the name here to correct spelling, spelt incorrectly. They thought that was cool. And there was nothing I could do about it.
yeah, so one R incorrect.
It was just exactly. And it was really one of those moments where I'm like, wow, this is being schooled in a hard way about being duped completely in music. But, you know, there's some, it was odd. But I hear that CFMY played that song here. I wasn't living here when it came out as some sort of, and then there was like a dance mix done.
Well, I mean, if it's mid-year production and there's a Toronto gal on it, that's you, by the way. Mm-hmm. And, you know, pre-Crash Vegas, of course. But another name I've been heard reference, so you mentioned Cold Fish, but what about the word sushi? Like, honestly, like, I feel like you
pre-sushi popularity, I guess, you know?
But, like, so is it sushi or cold fish? Or
cold fish.
okay,
yeah,
so where does, I know this sounds like I'm losing my mind.
Old detective novels. There was this kind of obsession with the Ventures and like early James Bond film, but like the books. Peter Fleming. Sorry, what was his first name? Fleming is his last name.
Yeah, the James Bond guy.
Author. Ian Fleming. And anyways, we were so into the Ventures and psychobilly songs. Who knows, punk, new wave, Cold Fish.
Well, I'm going to play this for Bruce, like on the next episode of Toast, because I think, I mean, this is ridiculous to have the band, like, to be called correct spelling or whatever, and then have the correct is spelled incorrectly. Like, this is all bizarre. But I will say that song is actually pretty good. Like, I mean, do you hate it when you hear it in your headphones? Like, what do you feel when you hear that song, Love Me Today, produced by Midyear?
I don't hate it.
Okay, get back really on that mic, though.
Like,
you're too far away.
I don't hate it. You know, I think at the point where I have arrived about stuff like that is it's more about, like, I have more affection for myself as the character. I am, you know, try to remember whatever memory is, of course, it's so flawed, but just it's what it was. I have all these memories associated with it. So as opposed to feeling, you know, like this great dislike or all of that, it's just like,
Okay, so this band, which, again, I'm confused because I did a lot of research into the ongoing history of Michelle McAdorey. And, you know, you can tell me that band was called Cold Fish. And then you could tell me that they decided to release it as correct spelling with one R incorrect, which is insane. But I also read that
marketing.
It was called Sushi, the band. Okay, so now I'm now aware.
No, that's wrong.
So it was never, ever known as Sushi.
Never.
Okay. So, but we have at least two names. Like, it sounds to me like you're set up for failure. And how do you succeed when the label can't figure out, you know, how to market this thing, regardless of Midyear, who's not, by the way, I'm here to tell you something else too. Midyear, very famous in the UK. Midyear is not famous in North America.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not, or who needs to hear it.
I think that was just, you know, it becomes really obvious living over there that there was, especially with like Top of the Pops, this weekly music show where it highlights all the top songs or whatever. And there were a lot of artists. It was always astounding to me. It's like, oh yeah, nobody's ever heard of Toya. Do you know Toya?
I feel like I've seen it stylized somewhere, but I'm not sure who. Is it Toyah?
Yeah. Toya.
Yeah. Okay, but I don't, that's all I know.
There was lots of that, right? Where it just doesn't quite cross over. And the same with here, right? There's lots of stuff that just remains more
Yes.
regional, national, or, continental, but doesn't quite make the great crossing.
Well, I mean, Blue Rodeo,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I mean, there's lots. I mean, this show exists to talk about these, made in Canada sensations. But yeah, they're not blasting Sloan in, as far as I know, they're not blasting Sloan in the UK.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
should
it's
be,
hard
though.
to know what these, where music finds its foothold, and why. I mean, it's not always because something, because people actually had a chance to hear it either. A lot
Yeah.
of times, stuff doesn't even get heard.
No, I don't even know how you'd make a living as a musician. I have no idea.
Well, it's worse now. It's worse.
It's worse, even though you don't need a label anymore. You're saying it's worse. Is
It's
that
way
because you're
worse.
drowning in the noise?
I think there's that, but I think also because of technology, like this idea that, anybody can do it, it's free,
Yeah.
go and do it. But yet the way that music is just really given for free or monetized so poorly for artists that where you could make, a little bit of money. People had a better chance. I mean, it's always been a kind of corrupt business, in my opinion.
I know, I'm just playing things randomly to see if Michelle McAdorey reacts. But only because I feel like last time when I listened back to our chat last time, I played Inside Out.
Saw a film yesterday, all about the fabulous disaster. Minded me of you, us together, me alone forever. But I don't mind the cold. Reminds me of my home. It's safe inside, I'm told. It's safe inside, I'm told. It's safe inside, I'm told. Dreamt of our old place
This
again.
would be
You
the
were
trip to Spain,
inside, trapped by the flame.
where I write this song, Come Back. This my trip to Spain where I meet Kirsty sort of informed this lyric, but everything else.
And this is Red Earth, your debut album with Crash Vegas, which is post
England.
and post Cold Fish. I don't know what to
Yes.
make of the new wave band Cold Fish. Like, I don't know if is that just a blip in your bio or like what? I guess and we're not going to dive as deep as we did last time into this band, but why does Cold Fish? Does it just die on the vine because the label didn't support it? Like, I don't understand
Well, I
what
think,
happens to Cold Fish and how you're available to be in Crash Vegas.
Well, I think for me also there was just such disillusionment like very quickly with that in my experience with how that happened.
Because again, you're very, very young.
Yes.
Because you're with Kirsty in like early 80s, like 81. But that's the same period of time basically with Cold Fish and dare I call them correct spelling, which is an insane name.
Exactly my reaction. So that was enough to make me go, okay, not doing that. Let's try that, again, because that's exactly what I've been warned about. And sadly, I fell for it.
But that brings you back to Toronto, right?
Eventually, yeah. It took a little bit because I was still sort of, I was in England for a little while. But yes, eventually I'm back in Toronto and, yes. And actually, just about the same time that Greg Keeler, Jim Cuddy come back from New York, also kind of feeling a disillusionment for much different reasons maybe, but that Toronto seemed like an easier place to be. And, coming back, all of us maybe, just trying to clean the slate and and do something that you could feel, well, for myself, I can only speak, but just something that I would feel more like just that I believed in. I think also that unfortunately, all the recordings that I made in England, especially the ones with Speedy, I wish I could get a hold of some of those, because that would be more representative of what that band was. Like, there was a song called American Salad, and I don't know why I bring this up, but very much I was very much influenced by the B-52s too. Sure. And but this song was talking about all sorts of things, and somehow I was like mentioning all these weird, all these different lettuces. Okay, there was a point in the lyric, but I remember with Speedy, who was so into it, and he's like, yeah, what if we just had this giant glass bowl and we just smashed it? I was like, wow, that'd be amazing, which is exactly what we did. Like, we got this big glass bowl and we put these lettuces in it and we smashed it and recorded it.
Yeah.
So that it was part of that song. And like, if only I could hear that tune.
So that's not even hiding on YouTube somewhere. That's gone.
As far as I know. I mean, I had cassettes of this, and then sadly somebody threw out all my cassettes.
Who did that to you?
Yeah, we can't.
I need names.
No. But I do know the owner of that studio, and I would like to, I wonder.
But if you can
Frank
find...
Andrews, back in England, he had a great studio, Ridge Farm. And I wonder if he would have masters.
Why don't you reach out? Because if you could find any of this old stuff, you could come back and we could play this. Like, it's like, this is lost media. I love it when we find lost media.
Yeah.
Like, you have a forum here to share the discovery and tell the story of how it came back. And then you could talk about, like, I'm just saying, the door's open to Michelle McAdorey.
Well, that's so kind of you.
Okay, I'll give you the key.
All right.
I'll give you a key, and you can just let yourself in whenever you want.
Sounds amazing.
All the Palma pasta lasagna you could eat, and all the Great Lakes beer you could drink here. So when you hear Red Earth, when you hear that song, because again, I noticed I tend to, like, if there's a song that really resonates with me that I keep going back to, it's like I get hyper focused on it. Ask Gino Vanelli about about how I couldn't get off black cars. Okay, that's a real story. He's like, can we get off black cars already? And I feel like, oh, Mike, you went really hard on Inside Out, because Inside Out to me was the jam. But that song I just played, which is absolutely gorgeous, when you hear that in the headphones right now, Michelle McAdorey, how does it make you feel hearing that song, Red Earth?
It's a long time ago, but
in nostalgia, we have Mark Carney told you to stop living in the past.
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm in pre-production for a new record.
What's the new record called?
I can't say yet.
My goodness. So you haven't
That'll be
recorded
when
anything.
I come. I'll get halfway through. Okay.
Well, we are going to talk about more current stuff here. I have a song loaded up and everything. And I got a lovely note from somebody. I'll just tease who wrote this note that I'm going to read to you in a moment. You ready?
Yes.
This person's name, and I'm curious if you know this person.
Okay.
Alan Miller.
Oh, Mr. Miller. I do.
Who is Alan Miller?
He's a friend that I've come to know. I met him. He first started. I'm teaching songwriting at U of T, and I think I had talked about starting that when I was here. Maybe. Yeah,
I'm going to quote you. This is something I pulled for this conversation. You wrote, "The class is back. 2 weeks till we start the fall session of songwriting class. Begins October 8th. So this is obviously dusty now. But 8 weeks." Every Wednesday evening, come join us at U of T's School for Continuing Studies and make some songs as the evenings grow longer. You can enroll here, and then there's a lovely link to enroll. So that's something, I just thought I'd throw that in the mix here as you talk about teaching songwriting.
Yes. So the winter session is starting February 18th. Still Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. And now more than ever, we need some really, really good, powerful songs.
Yeah,
like Bruce
Springsteen. I just listened to that yesterday.
Like, wow, that's amazing that he did that. He put out a song, right?
And thank you, Bruce, for not just setting it to the tune of Streets of Philadelphia. Right?
I know. It was hard not to hear that in your head.
Streets of Minneapolis. Yeah. I gotta say, I always tell this story, but I'm a titch younger than you. I think I grew up with Born in the USA. Bruce. Like
Right.
that was my Bruce when I was growing up. And I had Born in the USA and that was everything. And then you get older and you're like, oh, there was a Bruce before Born in the USA. And then you're like, you're catching up on like, it's like history. It's like I'm going through the archives. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then you're sort of like, people are always saying, oh, you know, you got to see Bruce live. But you know, you just don't get around to it because you're listening, you're seeing like Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and you know, you're going to Lowest of the Low and Rusty and all this stuff. And then you get an opportunity. Okay. A listener of your podcast gifts you a ticket to see Bruce Springsteen at the Scotiabank Arena. This happened, okay? He's like, this guy, he loves the show. He's an American.
Great.
His name's Steve.
Amazing.
He came to the last TMLX at Palma's Kitchen, and he just, out of nowhere, he's like, I want to send you to Bruce Springsteen at Scotiabank Arena. And I'm like, okay. Like, what am I going to say, right?
Yeah, sorry, can't go.
No, but ready for this? He gifts me 4 tickets.
Wow.
So I took my wife, and I took my brother and his wife. So we go to see Bruce at Scotiabank, and I'm there. It's like, the day after Donald Trump is reelected.
Yeah, I think I was at that show. Wait, he did 2 nights.
He did
right?
2 nights. So, but the show I was at was the night, the
Was
night,
that the second night?
the
or
night after. So I think it's the second night.
I think I was there too.
Okay,
On
well,
the
if I'd
second
known
night.
you were there. Okay, if I'd known you were there. But
Yeah, if I'd known you were there.
if I'd known Michelle McAdorey was in that building with 20,000 people or whatever. But I'm here. I soak him in, and I'm absolutely blown away like it was a religious experience.
Yeah, it was really something. The first time I saw him, I think I was 12, and a very good friend of mine, her brother, one of those great older brothers, why he took us, I don't know, but he took us to see Bruce. It was Born to Run, and it was a concert bowl at Maple Leaf Gardens, and it blew my mind. So Arlen, my son, is actually a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. And Tiffany, who took me to see Bruce Springsteen, Briar, her brother, took us. They took Arlen and I again. They're like, we have to revisit this all together, and we're taking you and your son to go see Bruce. So I too was gifted the experience of seeing Bruce.
The gift of Bruce.
I know.
And now he's I was wondering aloud, where is the great protest music? The world is on fire, okay? Where is the great protest music? We learned about the tumultuous 60s, and we learned about these songs that showed up because of the tumultuous 60s. Where's our protest music? But Bruce delivered.
He did, and I mean, we do have people who have written it, and hopefully there will be more of it. I mean, song is such an incredible medium for giving voice to grievance, but to mobilizing people to, so I hope we will see more of it.
So you're teaching at U of T.
Hear more of it.
Songwriting.
We'll
see it, and then we'll hear it. Like,
we'll see it.
And it's true. Like, at least you used to see it. Like, we used to make stuff in this country. I feel like I'm breaking into Sabaka on the wire here, okay? But I'm seeing vinyl here. You gifted me vinyl last time you were here, by the way. No more vinyl this time. The next album you got to gift me.
Why isn't it up on the wall
It's good question.
Do you want me to draw
Michelle McAdorey?
like a big thing on it, and then you'll...
That's a good point here. Okay, I'll move on here awkwardly here because I'm going to play another song, but I want to just let you know, Michelle McAdorey, that if you have old electronics, old devices, old cables, you don't throw that in the garbage. Those chemicals, they end up in our landfill. You could write a song about this, okay? Recyclemyelectronics.ca, you put in your postal code, and it'll be like, yeah, drop it off here. We'll make sure it stays out of the landfills and stays out. We'll recycle it properly. Good work, recyclemyelectronics.ca. Got it?
Got it. Recycle. I like it.
Yeah, we
Gotta
like to
do
recycle.
It. Gotta do it.
Well, we also like Nick Ieni's because Nick Ieni's, a lot of people listen. They support the show. They come to the events. They buy things at Palma Pasta. They die and they get their funeral at Ridley Funeral Home. This is what happens. Okay, I don't need my listeners to die though. I need every single one of them. But Nick Ieni's is like, yeah, I like what's happening here. Your fierce independence. We'll leave it there. No independency. But he's like, I want to help fuel. I'm going to cut a check every month to keep this show going. Even though Nick told me himself, he says, I don't agree with you politically. We're not aligned in terms of our thoughts on things. Nick leans a little further to the right than I do. But Nick's like, I respect your right to do it. I like what you're doing. Nick Iones cuts a check every single month to keep this show going. Wow. And I don't know if we give Nick Iones enough love because Nick is a blustery, says what he thinks kind of guy. I freaking love Nick Iones and Fusion Corp, and I love his podcast, Building Toronto Skyline, and I recommend it to everybody. You hear me, Michelle McAdorey?
Okay, I got to check it out. But I mean, that's amazing that he's so supportive. And I mean, it's good to hear that though you don't always agree.
We don't always agree. We rarely agree. But we respect each other's right, and we have civil conversations about these things. This is a thing Nick and I do. We agree on some things that are important. Like, we agree that we both enjoyed Mark Carney's speech in Davos. So, like, we'll come together and we have common ground. He's a proud Canadian. I'm a proud Canadian. And nobody fucks with our sovereignty. Not on my watch. And your son's learning how to help us protect ourselves.
That's right. Have you had... I'll tell you in a minute.
You're going to tell me in a minute. Michelle McAdorey needs another Great Lakes beer here, and then she's going to get back to me.
Tell me, what is it? Charges them up far beyond the alcohol. You can come and burn the rug to cinders. On and on and on and on.
What are you thinking of hearing this song? Really, I just want to play songs and find out what you think hearing them in the headphones.
I'm like, all right, yeah. I can remember, going to shoot the video for this, but yeah, I like it. There's things I like about it, for sure. Good melody in the chorus. I remember, I think a Toronto band covered it. Shay?
Is it the three women?
Yeah.
Davnit Doyle?
Yeah, I heard that they had covered it.
Is Kim Stockwood in there?
Maybe.
There's the three chanteuses from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're very good, actually. I think Davnit Doyle's one of them, for sure. Okay, that's good to hear, because it's a catchy jam, and I just loaded it up because I didn't play it last time. But I want to talk about your solo career before you escape, and then I promised Alan Miller. I have a couple of questions from Alan Miller.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to segue to your solo career, because, you did a lot since Crash Vegas.
Watching the sun and the moon go round. Wanted so much to want anything, to be wanted so much. What am I? If I
we're going back a quarter of a century.
I know.
Isn't that wild? Like now we're in the soul. This is whirl.
Yes. This was my first solo endeavor.
Yeah, because I mean, Crash Vegas doesn't disband until '96, and now we're in the year 2000.
Exactly. Yeah. Time just speeding on.
Let me get to the Alan Miller questions. You ready?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to read
All right.
exactly as he wrote it. So we have to pump your tires a little bit. As if I haven't pumped those tires enough. Those tires are about to explode.
Oh,
What is
no.
the PSI on those tires? Let me know.
Actually, I have an issue with one of the tires in the vehicle.
The vehicle.
But it's all right. It's not. We'll
So
talk.
I only know about bike tires. That's I'm an
Oh,
expert
yeah,
in bike
yeah.
tires.
Oh,
So
yeah. I love cycling
okay, I'm going to meet you for a ride on the waterfront trail.
for sure.
Okay, that's a date. Okay. Can't believe I'm going to get a date with Michelle McAdorey. Your last, this is Alan talking, not Toronto Mike. Okay, Alan Miller. Your last album was listed for the Polaris Prize, and its title track has, to date, amassed over 620,000 streams on Spotify alone. Is it true that we can purchase this record and the rest of your great songs at michellemacadory.bandcamp.com and other places where fine music is sold?
Wow, it's as if I paid him. Yes, it is. Why, yes, Alan. Thank you for that question.
Thanks for the great question, Alan.
Yeah, no, everything, you can get everything at Bandcamp. It's great. Bandcamp still seems like the best site, in my opinion.
Well, that's the most money in the artist's hands.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Alan Miller, do you pay Alan Miller for these wonderful comments? You need to disclose that if it's true. Okay, this is real journalism here. He says over 620,000 streams. I'm gonna guess. Can I guess that you can't buy a Starbucks coffee with your Spotify revenue? Am I way off base here?
No, you're not.
But okay, so we're kind of going back to where we started here because that was your initial rant. But how, if you're not Drake, okay, if you're not Justin Bieber, I'm going to name all the Canadians who do make money from Spotify. There's only about 6 of them, okay? How does an artist who has what I think is a significant number of streams, 620,000 streams, if that doesn't make an artist any money, then why are you on Spotify? Is it because if you're not on Spotify, you're invisible?
Yeah, that's been kind of the argument. But I asked myself the same question. It's like, what is the point of it to be on those services? So I don't know. I still, I wake up some days and I'm always talking to myself.
You can phone me up and tell me these thoughts.
And say, should I just pull it and not be on there? And what was the other part of your
Well,
question?
just that. Are we at an era where 620,000 streams earns you no money from Spotify?
Yeah, sadly.
Because I'm gonna guess the overwhelming majority of musicians in this country will have fewer streams.
Yeah, I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense. We got to. I wish we could pull together a better idea of how to regulate and manage. I don't know. I haven't spent a lot of time, which is not, I should be probably trying to be more constructive, and it's always better. It's one thing to critique things, but to offer some solutions.
Because it's almost like the tech companies that it's almost like goes back to what we said about the Meta. And I won't tell you that. I know you used to be on Twitter. Do you still tweet, or X, I should say?
I don't, and I've thought recently, although I realize it's still the place for some things, but I thought maybe it'd be better if I actually just deleted my account, which I haven't done yet.
Well, you don't want someone to take your username.
No, and I really am not Elon Musk for me is really problematic. So
you're not currently posting on X.
No, but then as I've learned, I think he maybe, or part of his, giant conglomerate of things that he owns, maybe owns Substack too. So I have to look
I don't
into
know.
that. And I have been enjoying Substack.
So can people subscribe to your Substack?
Yeah, I haven't really. I'm gonna start writing things really soon on there. But yes,
You're touching on something, which is that these I'll call them these modern billionaires, right? They all kind of figured out a way to like screw you out of your data to sell you shit, and then they all got rich or whatever. And many of them are problematic. So we have issues with Meta that we talked about earlier, and that is the Zuckerberg empire. We have issues with X, a lot of issues with X, and that's the Musk empire. And meanwhile, it sounds like Spotify is royally fucking the overwhelming majority of musicians on this planet.
absolutely.
But they've somehow figured a way to, because I personally don't use Spotify, but
I don't use it either.
but most people do, right? Like a lot of people I know and love are Spotify heads. And because if that's where you're going to get all your music, and then all of a sudden Michelle McAdorey's music is not there, that fucks you too.
I don't know if it does,
Well-
and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, has it turned anybody on to what I do enough that they go somewhere else, or is it just like providing wallpaper in their situation? Like, how much do they care about? Maybe I feel like I don't know. Is this the wrong way to phrase this? And forgive me for people who love Spotify, because maybe they could make the argument would help me understand. But I wonder if people who really want to hear fully what an artist does might use Apple more or Tidal or one of those other services, because they
There's also
seem to
YouTube also has a stream.
and YouTube, of course, but where you can actually see, hear albums and really go deeply into tracks and that, where it seems like Spotify is more about serving up like curated lists with tracks, kind of like maybe a radio station might have done. Is that?
But if you want, like, if you want to hear Inside Out,
I mean, I know Apple does that too and other things, but yeah.
like you could remove your music from Spotify, for example, and then the people who want Inside Out on their playlist won't get to hear. I guess, like, who controls Crash Vegas stuff?
Well, it depends who owns the albums, right? And so each of those records belong to different labels. That's a whole other
Well,
question.
who owns Inside
I
Out?
need a manager. Okay, I need a manager to come and help sort this. I do.
Right.
But like,
You want me to call
Warner's-
Jay Gold? What's going on here?
Yeah, sure. I spoke to Jake not too long ago, a couple of years ago. But basically, like, Warner's reissued Red Earth. But the other labels, it's a kind of limbo thing. And that becomes another catch-22 because it's so expensive to get legal, services to actually untangle this stuff and know that it's quagmire.
Yeah, it's a quagmire here. Okay, so I will just
specialize in the quagmire
No,
of
listen,
music
so-
biz.
so- that's why I like talking to you, because you're out there trying to figure all this out. You mentioned you got a new album coming out, so you're obviously writing stuff, and you're going to be releasing a new album. But just because Alan Miller brought it up, I should point out that Into Her Future, which I own on vinyl, so we're going back. But even that, so I mentioned, was a quarter of a century since Whirl. Okay, do you
Right.
know Into Her Future is now
A decade.
a decade?
I know.
Like even that, which is your
That's
fresh.
my rhythm.
And that's like your fresh content. Michelle, we need to fix
Good
this. Okay?
things take time.
Good things take time. But it was referenced by Alan Miller, but it was long listed, which is different than being shortlisted, but it's better than not being anything. So it was long listed for the 2016 Polaris Music Prize, which is rather prestigious. And it was on the Earshot National Top 50 chart in December that year. So that was Into Her Future. Do you have a name for the new album that is not yet completed?
Perhaps.
But you're not. That's
I can't
what's
say
secret.
it yet. Yeah.
Can you tell me after the recording so I could leak it somewhere?
Maybe.
Okay, and then I'll tell you more dirt about the CFNY documentary.
Yeah, I'll tell you
won't
some
believe
other
what I
dirt
know.
too.
By the way, Cuddy is in the CFNY documentary.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there because I guess that the music which you starred in the video, we didn't. This is all in the first Michelle McAdorey episode. Your relationship with Greg Keeler and how that ties into Crash Vegas, and then you're in the videos. So that apparently CFNY was the only station playing that in the beginning. Does that sound possible to you?
Could be, yeah.
Well, Cuddy talks to this, so but he's mainly in the 90-minute version, which I think I might be the only person outside of the production team that's actually seen the 90-minute version.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't know if Matt Schichter was supposed to share that link with me, but he did, and I watched it. Okay, I watched it several times. So only now,
wait.
I got dirt for you. Oh my goodness gracious here. So I'm going to look forward to the new Michelle McAdorey album.
Yes. Got to push that thing.
Well, do you have an ETA? Like, are we looking
No, I don't yet. I can't jinx these things. It's pre-production time.
Jinx it. This is art that you create. Like,
And-
you need a deadline.
It's like, all right, well, that's where the manager will come in.
But there's no manager right now. When was the last time you had a manager?
I'm
Do you want me to manage you? Is that what this is all about?
not sure.
I could figure that shit out.
All right.
I'll figure that shit out. I mean, this is the year I'm doing a lot of different shit. Like, I'm going to be at the Elmo. Did I mention that? On
Yeah, I like
May
that
21.
idea.
And tickets are actually available now. Like, you can search for this on Eventbrite.
And what's going to happen?
It's called Toronto Mike's Social Experiment.
Yes.
And it's about 90 minutes.
Amazing.
And that's all I can tell you right now because you didn't tell me the name of your new album.
Oh, come on.
It's going to be quid pro quo over
Are you
here.
going to just drip out little bits of what's going to happen each
I'm going to craft something.
Toronto Mike
Something intelligent.
episode?
Yeah. It's going to be insightful. It's going to be entertaining.
Interactive.
It's going to be interactive. Sure. It's going to be something. And I mentioned I have Rob Pruce as my Paul Schaefer. I'll be like the Letterman to his Paul Schaefer. It's going to be something.
Cool. I like that. I'm going to go.
There was oh my God. Is that a commitment? I just sold the ticket. Okay. Alan Miller had a second question, which I almost don't think I should read it because it's a little too tire pumpy. He asks, why are you so awesome? Who is this guy, Alan Miller? Seriously. I think Alan's in love with you.
Jeez.
Who can blame him? Okay. So, Michelle McAdorey, this won't be your last appearance because I dig your vibe. You actually calm me down. Like, I get all angry at the world. And for the last, I don't know what this was, 80 minutes or whatever, I felt calm. I think that's you.
Amazing. Well, I was really looking forward to coming and hanging out. So I hope you'll have me back.
Was there anything you wanted to share that you didn't share?
Just come to the songwriting class. There's spots left because I think we need some really good songs out there. More good songs.
Is there
And,
is there a website we send them to, or they just go to learn.utoronto.ca?
It's at the school, U of T, School of Continuing Education, and it's under
Continuing
creative
studies.
Yeah, continuing studies. Thank you for that. And it's under creative writing, songwriting.
Can you imagine being taught songwriting by Michelle McAdorey?
It's a creative lab.
I'm going to borrow that for my one-man show at the Elma Combo on May 21st. Michelle McAdorey, when you have the new album out and you come back and we're going to chat about different things, will I get a vinyl copy?
As long as you put the other one up on the wall.
Done deal. I'm
All
embarrassed.
right.
I'm actually thoroughly embarrassed it's not up there right now.
Oh, yeah.
And if Joe Louis is listening,
listening,
because the truth is I can't play it, and I lent it to a guy known in the TMU, the Toronto Mike universe, as Joe Louis. So Joe Louis is listening to it right now, and I don't physically have it here, but I can't play it anyways. But I do want it for the display here.
But there's a digital card inside too.
But I also have a premium YouTube account where I can listen to it.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Should I have brought you a disc?
I can actually play a disc, but
Gee,
I'm
okay.
a
I'll bring you a bunch of discs.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,840th show. 1840. Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. I don't know all your Toronto Mike needs, but yeah, a lot of needs are met at torontomike.com. Please support the partners that made this possible. Much love to them. That's Great Lakes Brewery, Palma Pasta, Nick Iones, RecycleMyElectronics.ca, and Ridley Funeral Home. See you all tomorrow when my special guest is Johnny Max.
Bye.